Alrighty guys, here we are with solving quadratics with square roots, level 1. Honestly, level 1 and level 2 are the same kind of thing. We're going to be mashing them together. So this looks kind of awful, but we want to think of it somewhere between solving a polynomial, which we've done several times, and solving an equation. So we're going to start off by trying to get this term involving x, that polynomial of x minus 1 squared, by itself. So standard equation rules apply here. What I want to do here is start trying to get this polynomial by itself. Because honestly, I'm going to want to get the x minus 1 by itself and all that. So this is what I want to get by itself, which means the other things have to go away. We should be familiar with the drill by now. You guys had some basic equation practice to warm yourselves up on this. Hey, it's like there was a reason we put this in here. Plus 39, both sides. Done. Great. 5. Now I'm going to put this in a different color because this is what we want by itself. And those canceled, so we just have equals 20. I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 5. I have x minus 1 in parentheses squared equals 4. Here's where this gets a little different. If I had told you guys in the past, like I wanted you to solve a polynomial, and the polynomial was like, hey, x plus 1, x minus 1, and it equaled 0, you guys would know to make both of these things equal 0 and solve it. No big deal. We got this. We've done this. This is the similar idea. What I want to do is start by getting rid of that exponent. So that exponent's got to go away. You guys should remember from when we looked at a couple other things, the opposite of an exponent is a root. And this came up in the other assignment where we were trying to cancel out exponents a couple times, or we were trying to cancel out roots, like when we did a root times itself. I'm digressing. I cancel out this root, or I cancel out this exponent by using a root. But what we do to one side, we do to the other. So the square root of x minus 1 squared. We just cancel the roots. I'll even toss them in a different color. Root and exponent are gone. So I'm going to have x minus 1 equals. Here's the thing, guys. If I said randomly, I squared a number, and it equaled 4. And I say, tell me what number goes in the box. You might say 2. Well, 2 squared is 4. You are right. But what if I was thinking of negative 2? Negative 2, as long as it's in parentheses, squared is still 4. So I have two possible options, like we just had in our previous example, like I just gave you with the polynomials. There will be two options here. So the square root of 4 is a 2. But we're going to write this funky plus minus thing. What this plus minus thing means is it's positive and negative at the same time. That's not as bad as it sounds. It just means we're literally going to write two problems next to each other. This should seem vaguely familiar. One of these problems will equal a positive 2, and one is going to equal a negative 2. There's the plus, there's the minus. Did I have to write this plus here? No, but I thought it was relevant here. And then we solve this, and it's just like another polynomial. We're going to say, hey, x is one of these two things. Moving on with life. Cool. So, solve this one. X, I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So, x equals 3. This one over here, I add 1 to both sides. X equals negative 1. So, x equals squiggly bracket, negative 1 comma 3. Oops, that should not be a parenthesis, it should be a squiggly bracket. Hey, if that's the biggest mistake I make, I'm doing good. No, you guys can see that. You go over to your answer, and I go -1, comma 3. Submit answer. Yes. And they're showing you the exact same steps we just did right here. So, new problem. All right, this one also pretty straightforward. It's not going to be quite what you think. It's not going to be quite what you think. 7 plus 2x squared equals 11. Well, I want to start just solving for x. So, oops, not 7x. 7 plus 2x squared equals 11. Same thing we were doing before. Minus that 7. And you're going to get 2x squared equals 4. I am going to divide both sides by 2. Why am I doing this? Well, guys, think about it. Equations, we work backwards. We're dealing with the addition and subtraction first, then the multiplication and division. It's going to leave for me to do last my exponents. So x squared equals 2. Square root this, x, because remember, square roots and exponents cancel, equals the square root of 2. That's an irrational number. We don't know what it really is. I mean, 1.41 something, I think. I don't know. I had to memorize it once. But I'm not bothering with that. If we look at the delta math thing, there's a little nice root button. I'm not bothering. I'm going to go over here, click the square root button, type a 2, and I'm going to submit. Yes, I want that to be my answer. I messed up. How did I mess up? We didn't do plus or minus. Because it could have been a negative root 2 or a positive root 2. So that's the same kind of mistake you could make. I mean, heck, I just made it. If we were in class, a third of you would be laughing at me going, hey, Pettingill, come on, get with it. So what I should have done here is had a, simple little detail. Plus or minus a root 2, that doesn't show up all that color. Plus or minus root 2, good, done. Except we just need to make sure that our answer set looks like a root 2, or a positive root 2, and a negative root 2. Because if I squared either one of these things, when I squared the x also, I would get a 2 or a 2. So these are both viable answers. So that's how I messed up. It's a little mistake, and it will probably catch many of us. New problem, you know the drill. So 3 parentheses x squared plus 2 close parentheses minus 8 equals 1. Same kind of thing we've been doing. Add 8 to both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Okay, no big deal. And that will give me x squared plus 2 equals 3. Well, minus our 2. X squared equals 1. Someone's going to make the same mistake I just made a minute ago, and I'm probably not going to forget it for a while now, because I made it up while recording. And I take the square root of both sides to cancel that square. And I get my x. This is going to be, well, the square root of 1 is 1, because let's face it, 1 times 1 equals 1. But it's that plus minus 1. See, on Delta Math, there's that nice little plus minus button. I know, and you guys probably know from watching me mess it up a second ago, the answer is a set of 1, negative 1. That's my answer. If I put the plus minus 1, will that work? Will Delta Math take that? That's a question I'm going to answer for you and possibly mess up the problem. Because if I get this wrong, you know we have to put the answer like this. You have to type it out. If I get it right, you guys know, hey, it's a 1 or negative 1. I'm just going to click the plus minus. I'm going to hit the 1. I'm going to hit submit. And Yes, okay, cool. Delta Math will take the plus minus button. So if you have a positive and a negative with the same number, Delta Math is fine with you putting the plus minus button and then giving that answer. And this is all it is, guys. New problem, same idea as an equation. We're going to get rid of the 2 and the negative 8 so that we're left with x squared minus 3 equals something. Get rid of the 3, take the root, get a plus minus. And I'll show it to you in quick mode because I just literally said how to do it, and we're getting way too long on this video. So, okay. So like I said, add 8 to both sides, and I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Which is going to give me a 1, or sorry, x squared minus 3 equals 1. I add 3 to both sides. And we get x squared equals 4. We take the square root of this, which cancels and gives us x plus or minus, oops, not a 4, a 2. So x is a positive 2 or a negative 2, which we can look at up here. Honestly, I'm just going to go to Delta Math. I'm going to click that nice plus minus button, and now I'm going to hit a 2. And I'm going to hit submit, and hopefully I'm going to look good. I'm looking good. That's level 1.